and welcome to our live crafting session this morning. It is Wednesday, the 31st of May 2023. Can't believe that it is June tomorrow, and certainly the weather at the moment is not sharing my belief either. So do have a warm welcome this morning. My name's Jenny McCormack and I am a Stampin Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. Thank you for joining me. We have been having some fun with our stamp set of the week. It's called, just come out of that shining area. It's called Bird's Eye View, as you can see from there. And we have been doing some different cards of this Monday and Tuesday, and we've got something different today and tomorrow. So if you are joining us live, do say hi. It's always lovely to know who's watching with us. I do actually have my mobile working today, so hopefully that will help me acknowledge anybody who pops on to say hi. And if you're watching on catch up or replay, which is on Facebook or YouTube, whichever you prefer, then welcome to you. And if you have any questions or queries about what I've created or the products I've used, don't hesitate to pop a question in the comments and I will get back to you. So the cards that we've made so far this week have been featuring the birds here and the books and the glasses. What I haven't done so far with you is use the branch and some of the smaller birds, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be making a card similar to this, and the sentiment actually comes from Sweet Songbirds, and it says, "A little bird told me it's your special day." Perfect. Birthday, could be an anniversary card, and you could make this for a youngster or an adult, male or female. I think it really serves all purposes, especially with that set of sentiments. So the ones that we've created so far have featured the birds and the stack of books. I stacked these up together and coloured those in and used the books as the background. Hopefully you can see that on there. This was just straightforward stamping. This is what I created on Monday. And then yesterday I did this one here with some stacks of books, and I masked them so that they stood in a line flat together. And I did think straight afterwards that what I could also do is have the stack of books in the middle and then have two birds, one facing to the right and one facing to the left, rather like bookends. So, or even, you know, facing in and out, whichever way you want to do it. So that's what we've created so far. So you can see the videos for how I created these. And today we're going to be using our note cards and envelopes, and using these die cuts from the Countryside Corners dies, and that's a set of dies that are nested, I should say. Couldn't think of the word then. And this is the second to largest, and then there's another one that's larger, which actually cuts out a note card if you want it to. So let's do some straightforward stamping. I'm going to start with the branch from the stamp set. And one thing I did find when doing this at Coffee and Card is you want the branch fairly far down, otherwise you don't have enough room for some of the birds. Because if you were using, for example, this one, it's quite tall, so you don't want to run out of space. So let's grab this one here. So it's dull again this morning, and it did this yesterday. It was dull in the morning, then it went bright, and then it went cold, and when I went out in the night it was actually raining. Not a great deal, I have to say, but it was raining. so I'm going to ink up. I'm going to use Early Espresso today. I used Pebble Path yesterday, which is my new alternative to Early Espresso. It's a nice deep sort of grey brown. Okay, now I want the edge of the tree to go off the edge of the card, so it's not sort of mid-air. So let's just get this stamped here. I want enough space for my little sentiment at the bottom, but It's Your Special Day is very slim, so I think I'll be absolutely fine. And I've also got the leaves. And I'm just going to stamp some of these too. Let's pop some up on here. Like so. And coming off here. Like so. There we go. So there's our leaves on the edge. And then I'm going to add our birds. So let's pop the little one down first, so that I've got enough space for him, and then I can decide which bird will fit on the left hand side. Finished with the leaves, I can pop those back. So I hope everybody is keeping well. Okay, so just going to pop him on here, and because he's got thin little legs, you can have him actually, or her actually, sort of standing on the tree as opposed to hovering on the top. Right, and let's add, I'm hoping this one will fit. Just, it's a little bit close. Let's just give it a go. So I'm going to add the bird on, just going off the left hand side, but I didn't want too close to the other one, so I'm happy with that. And let's just stamp the sentiment. So I've got A Little Bird Told Me, and this comes from Sweet Songbirds. Let me just check. Okay. Little Bird Told Me. That, and then I've got It's Your Special Day at the bottom. There we go. So this is our stamp set of the week, and let's stamp the envelope while we're there. And what that means is I feature the stamp set during the week to give you lots of different ideas with it. But it does also mean, excuse me, if you purchase the stamp set from me, if you're in the UK, then I send you all the components to make the cards as I've demonstrated in our live sessions. There we go. So I've got those on the envelope. Okay, let's pop the ink pad away for the minute and do a little bit of colouring in. Now I've picked up this piece here for a pool party background, so I'm going to go sort of a pale blue and brown. And I've also picked out these embellishments which feature this nice Pool Party blue there. And so I'm just going to grab, I've got Pool Party lights, I've got some crumb cake, and I've got some greenery for the leaves. Let me just find Pool Party dark if I need it. There it is. There we go. So, glasses are off. Let's have a little bit of a tidy up of this area. Okay, let's start with the leaves. So just a little bit of dark at the bottom and in that little stalk there. Let's take that out of the way. There we go. And then just adding a little bit of light granny apple green. Yes, so last day of May, goodness me. So first day of June does bring good news in the Stampin' Up world. There is an offer on our designer paper, so that's our patterned paper, that's what we call our pattern paper, designer paper. And there's 15% off all of the main designer paper packs. And there's also a great joining offer. If you fancy joining our team and having some fun crafting together. So we do online meetings, we have in-person meetings, we have a craft day, we have a birthday club, and it's a really lovely environment to craft together. And there's a special offer on for the month of June, and that starts obviously tomorrow as well. And normally in your starter pack you get £130 of products of your choice, so you're not restricted as to what you purchase. So if you've got your eyes on the embossing machine, for example, you could have that, and you pay just £99. The special offer for June is you get an extra £24. Now, I've done that green, but I meant to do that brown. Never mind, we've got a nice green healthy branch here. I thought it looked different. Okay, there we go. Right, let's add in some crumb cake. So I've got some light and dark, but you could use any browns, any blues that you've got, really, depending on what colour you want your bird to be. So just laying down a little bit of Pool Party. And then this is my go-to colour, crumb cake. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. Retires in 5 years' time. There we go. It's a really good light neutral brown. Okay. Let's add a little bit of detail here. So. Go. Morning, Carol. That's okay. I don't know where everybody is today. It's a quiet morning this morning, but that's fine. Let's just do a dark little beak. There's that one there. And then I'm going to do similar for my bird here, whether it's the mother bird or the father bird. So I'm going to add a little bit of dark pool party there and light. So I hope your coffee and card session's going well. I see you posting. You've got some lovely designs on there, Carol. There we go. That's up at, no, I'll leave it like that. Okay, and then let's add a little bit of dark crumb cake under the wing. Oh, excellent. Regulars is excellent. Right, let's just pop a little bit along here. And under here. So this is the dark crumb cake I'm just laying down, and then I'm going to use the light crumb cake just to blend that out. Hi Kerry, good evening to you in Australia. I trust you're well. Thank you for joining us. There we go. I'm just going to blend this in. I might grab another light crumb cake. So this light crumb cake is ages old. It's at least 3 years old. But I think it might be time, nearly time to retire it. I've got lots of dark ones. They're all dark. I'll stick with that one. You can always tell that they're beginning to run out because you can hear them on the paper. As well as obviously the ink being lighter. So I wonder if this is the stamp set you've got, Kerry. It's very cute. Oh, bless you. Busy week with grandchildren, no time for crafting. Well, grandchildren are more important, aren't they? Right, I'm going to see if I can get a new crumb cake. There it is, light crumb cake. I will keep that one. I might mark it. There we go. Because I don't like to retire them until they're completely empty. And also there is a little bit in there. So if you're doing a small area, of course it's absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm just going to colour this all the way over. Like so. And then I'm going to use my colour lifter in a second just to lighten up the centre. And I just want a little bit of dark here. There we go. And the nice thing I think about these birds that a lot of people have said at Coffee and Card is because they're not lifelike, they're not realistic birds, people don't mind colouring them in. I think people get a little bit frightened of colouring in realistic images because they feel it's got to be realistic, the right colours or whatever, whereas these birds could be, you know, they could be purples, they could be orange, they could be anything you want them to be. There we go. There's the little beak, and then I'm going to use our colour lifter and just run that around those edges just to soften them. Oh, you don't have it. It's so sweet. You know, it's not on my, it wasn't on my list. So when I get the new catalogue, I go through and make a list of the stamp sets that will work for Coffee and Card and also for classes, and then also my must-have. So I have a list of must-have, which could be accessories, so there could be masks, for example, may not just be stamp sets, or they might be standalone dies. And then I go through and order a set at a time, or a number of sets at a time, for Coffee and Card and for classes. And this wasn't on my list until I saw other demonstrators making some really cute cards, and I thought, do you know what, I think I'm going to have it. So there we go. So let's see, here's my note card. Let's grab the bone folder. And I really must change my mat underneath. I was looking at it yesterday. Okay, so I've got this layer here and this one on top. Hi Scott! Thanks for joining us this morning. It is a nice one for colouring, and also because the images are quite small, I think they're not too daunting for people either. Where you've got a large single image, I think is a little bit more tricky, isn't it? So I might put a layer behind that as well. Let's have a look, just so I've got a little less white card showing. Let me grab my pack of layers and see if I've got anything that will work. I trust you're well, Scott, and hope everything went okay for you yesterday afternoon. Right, so these are the layers that I take to Coffee and Card, so that people have a choice of layers to go behind their cards. Here's an old Pear Pizzazz one, look. Oh, excellent. Pleased about that. There's a brighter one. I prefer that one, but what I might do is stamp some of the leaves around. I've got a darker green. This is Evening Evergreen. That also works, doesn't it? Normally I like to go darker behind because it offsets the element. Maybe that is a better look. So I keep these at the ready for Coffee and Card so that people can choose either papers or card. Just having a quick flick through, which is the best way. Got this one. That Makes it look a little bit fun, doesn't it? A little less serious. I think I might stick with that. Let's just try this one here. So that's one version there. It's got the green at the bottom, but we do tend to lose that definition. Oh, that might work. So what I might do is just add a little bit of sponging of white, no, not of white, of blue across the top. But that then sort of works, doesn't it, with the two layers. So this is from Hues of Happiness, which is retired. But it might work perfectly for that. Okay, let's just grab a blending brush and a little bit of Pool Party ink. Oh, have I frozen? Oh, I have. Oh dear. Okay, thank you. I'm going to... Well, my video's frozen, but my voice is there, isn't it? Okay, I think rather than stop and restart, I will just finish this and show you the finished project. Because it won't allow me to restart the video. So, I do apologise. And I will finish off and photograph the end. Oh, you can hear me, excellent. Okay, so all I'm going to do is use a blending brush across the top of the strip where I've done my stamping, and then I will layer it all together. So apologies for that, no idea why that happened. There's nobody else in the house. These things happen, don't they? So thank you so much for joining me. Keep it short and sweet. Excuse me. And I'll pop a photograph of the finished project up on my page shortly. Thank you so much everybody for joining me. I do apologise for the abrupt ending, but the majority of the card was done. Thank you so much. Do take care everyone, and bye for now.